Returning to our studio is Phillip Nguyen. During work hours, Phillip is president of Digital Marketing Solutions, and after hours, he commits his time to Grand Rapids' Vietnamese American community. He's with us today to talk about the strength of community and what it means to give back. Phillip, welcome back to Feel Like You Belong.
Thank you for having me again.
So for our viewers who missed our interview 3 years ago when you came here to talk
3 years ago.
about
Wow.
your life story, it passes fast.
Time flies.
Basically, just as an overview, the tough part of your life was definitely early on. Age 6, you were orphaned. You lost your parents. The Vietnam War was going on around, and then you found yourself sometimes with other family members who would take you in. Sometimes you were on the street, and life was really tough. And then at age 18, you managed to escape Vietnam, escape communist rule. So, I mean, talk a little bit about those days, those hard days on your own.
Well, as a little kid in Vietnam, you never thought of someday you'll end up in America, right? But one day, we at the time there's a lot of people leave in Vietnam because for the political and economic reason. I was one of them. We got on a tiny boat and we crossed we went to little islands, Macau, and then from Macau we went to Hong Kong, and there I lived for, I believe, 2.5 years in a refugee camp, and finally came to America with via Bethany Christian Service sponsored me.
So locally, Bethany Christian Services is one of the refugee relocation agencies.
That's correct.
Yeah.
For the minor, yeah.
Yeah. Now, when you were in the refugee camp in the Pacific, were you studying English?
Yes, I was.
Okay.
I just happen to like school.
Okay.
I love school. So I think part of it because at the early age I didn't get to go to school.
Right.
And I see all my friends going to school, and I was home and doing yard work and whatnot, and so I always wanted to go to school, and that always instilled in me, and I just love school, so that helped.
Sure. So then when you came here, life was not easy going to school. Again, in English, your second language. Most of the other kids in school didn't look like you.
Considering what I've been through in Vietnam and refugee camp, coming to America with all the challenge and all the language barrier, culture barrier, and even food barrier, is nothing.
and truly, I think after all of those years of a lot of privation, you came saying, okay, this is my chance. I'm not going to miss it. I'm going to work hard.
Like my wife said, the only way that I can retire is when I'm 6 feet under. I'm always constantly doing something, and school is what I like a lot. So that helped on my path,
Eventually you ended up with a degree in computer science. And now talk a little bit about your technology company.
My latest project is with the fundraising platform.
Well, and I want to get to that,
Yeah.
but I want to establish the fact that since 2000 to 2018, you have established a business. You have employees. You've reached a fair level of success. And you can be modest, but you're doing fine.
Yeah,
you're not
okay.
suffering,
It's okay.
and certainly a big turnaround from those earliest days. But as I mentioned earlier, you don't consider yourself arrived. Okay, time for the hammock and the golf course, and you've come up with this project because of your commitment to giving back to this
Yes.
city, this state, this country that has taken you in.
Yes,
When you were down and out, when you were a refugee, when you could no longer live at home, they said, come on over here, and here you came and made a great life for yourself. So talk about EZsamaritan.
It is truly something that I always wanted to do. So what can you do to give it back? What is the biggest impact can you make with your skills and talent and what God gave you, you know. Yesterday I have a meeting with Bethany Christian Service, and I told them I haven't met an organization that they said we don't need money. You know, there's always sometimes always money. So fundraising is an ongoing activity, right? So I was at the time 3.5 years ago, and I look at all the online applications, you know, including GoFundMe and other apps, and they're wonderful. You know, they allow people to do fundraising nowadays that you can do fundraising without having to have a lot of cost up front. You don't have to put out an event. You don't have to buy food, drink, dinner, concert, whatever. Just fundraise, and the majority of the money, I would say 95% of it, you know, besides the credit card fee and some other platform fee, you'll be able to collect those money.
Goes directly to the charity.
That's right, and that's so good, because too often you work so hard to raise that money, right? And at the end of the day, all the expense go out, and then not much for the cost. Really,
you got to pay for the food, you got to pay for the band, you got to pay for the venue.
Exactly.
And fundraising is expensive.
Exactly, and that's what people do for years and years and years, right? Now, what I realize is there's 1.7 million non-profit 501c3 in America. That's by IS database.
1.7 million nonprofits.
501c3.
Okay.
If you count to all the nonprofit in general, it's over 3 million.
Oh my.
Now, most of these nonprofit organizations are still in the old mode, meaning they have not used or utilized advanced technology.
Mm-hmm.
Because for many reasons, you know, most of it because of funding and
small budget.
That's right, and they don't have an IT team. They don't have the expertise.
Sure.
So anything that's not familiar, they're scared of.
Right.
It's easy for them to open the fundraising dinner than to go online and open an account and do fundraising,
Sure.
right?
Because they know that.
Exactly. People tend to do what they know.
Right.
Now, so I was doing it, and then I realized, I said, you know what? As a software engineer, I can do better than this application that we've been using. So after do much research, you know, we done a lot of research on it, and then I get my team together. These are my employees.
Mm-hmm.
A team of 7, included I 8. We worked on it 3.5 years. And now we put in over 45,000 man hours. That's not a simple website. It's a huge application project. And what we end up with the product is, think of GoFundMe, which is an online application,
Mm-hmm.
and eBay, which is an auction.
Sure.
Right? With my firm, we specialize on setting up online auctions across the globe. Europe, Africa, anywhere, any firm, any individual or organization want to set up a online fundraising website, we do it. Now that's our expertise.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have to combine that with the fundraising application. So we make it into a GoFundMe and eBay combined together.
So first of all, for our viewers who are already thinking, oh, I need to check this out, what is the web address?
EZ stands for easy, E English, Z zebra, Samaritan.
Samaritan, like the Good Samaritan.
That's right. We're based on the Bible.
.com.
.com, that's right.
Okay, we'll put that on our screen so people can go check it out. So when they go there, what will they see?
Well, what they do is they need to open an account, right? So as a nonprofit, it's completely free. Not even a penny. We don't charge a penny. And that's our goal behind it, okay? And if some people say, this sounds good to be true, but that is the goal behind it. Yeah. That's all the passion and energy go into, because we want to make it free for all the nonprofit. Now there is a credit card charge you have to pay for the merchant account provider, which is a given.
Because MasterCard and Visa want their little cut.
Doesn't matter where you go. PayPal, Visa, MasterCard, Facebook, wherever. the merchant account provider have to have their little cut, which is 2.9%.
But if you want to donate $100 to someone's project, they receive $100.
They receive, if
But you donate 100 and then get the surcharge from the credit
that's
card.
right, that's right. So what happened here is, let's say you're a fundraiser, right? You get in, you receive $1,000 donation. Okay, last 2.9%. After going to the credit card fee, the rest of money belong to you.
Okay.
So you know, EZsamaritan, we don't get a penny.
Okay.
And we have no control of whatsoever with your money. What we do is our platform will connect you with the donor. And then for that money to go to your bank account, you need to connect with we use Stripe, similar to PayPal.
Sure.
In all ways, we, EZsamaritan, do not control your money. We have no access to it. We have no say to it, whatever. We provide a platform for you to connect with your donors.
So as long as they're a verifiable nonprofit, they can come use your app.
Yep, for free. Now, everyone can use it, but if you're not a nonprofit, then you have to pay 2.5%
Okay.
for the platform fee,
Okay.
which is cheaper than Facebook with 6%,
Okay.
cheaper than some other guys who 9%. The average is out there 12% for the platform fee.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
we don't charge. Okay. Now some, I don't want to mention names, some try to make it free, like we do, but behind it, they do what we call a forced donation. That's it. You collect this much money you should donate to us. Okay? Based on your, so the trick behind it,
So a little sneaky.
hidden agenda,
Yeah.
which for EZsamaritan, we don't want to do that. Because the purpose is being a good Samaritan, okay? And we don't want to do any hidden agenda. It's free. Now, individual is 2.5%. And the question here, people ask me, well, how do you keep on this funding? I mean, that is, you have to pay for the server, you pay for the staff to maintain and support behind it. How do you pay for it? That's how we pay for it. We pay from the individual 2.5%.
So what would be an example of an individual who would set up an account who is not a nonprofit?
Exactly. So let's say you, as the person who want to do a fundraising to have a surgery for your dog.
Okay.
That's an individual.
Okay.
You want your friend, your cousin, or your basketball team, or whatever, or you do fundraising for your niece, your nephew. Those are individual, non-501c3.
Okay.
Okay. Still way cheaper. Okay. The important thing here is nowadays, let's say you have 5,000 donors. To reach to that 5,000 donors, just a letter, it costs you $5,000, right? An average.
Mail.
Mailing alone, just, you know.
Sure.
With our application, the way we build it, we utilize social media, Facebook, Twitter, email, SMS, messaging. All of this is free. You can get your message out to millions of people at no cost at all by using the technology we build it.
So you've actually built a social media aspect or component to this website, so they don't, so perhaps, what if they are not on Facebook? Can they still send out?
Oh yes, absolutely. And that's the beautiful of it, you know. And that's why the power of the apps is allow people to reach to a mass donor.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, when it comes to internet, right? Your cousin in Germany can donate, you know. My friend in Vietnam can donate, you know. China, wherever, there's no border to it. Versus traditional fundraising, you got to be there.
So you've really taken not only the expense out of this proposition, you've taken a lot of the pain, because you've done a lot of the organizing ahead of time for people.
That's why 45,000 man hours into it, you know.
Okay.
I mean, a typical website we can build in half an hour.
And again, I'm really touched because I understand where you came from in your life. Was that, you know, you had nothing. As you actually said 3 years ago, you were the poorest of the poor. and for you to be able to say, look, okay, overall, life's been really good, for you to develop this kind of a gift for the nonprofits of the world. I want to say thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
And again, we'll put
No.
we'll put your URL up on the screen so people can go and check you out. I'd love to keep going on, but we've got to keep on schedule. And so I want to thank you for coming by
Thank
so
you
much
so
and
much.
sharing this. And good luck, because this app is a real gift to the broader community.
Thank
And
you.
so
Thank you for
for
allowing me to do it.
Thank you for joining us. If you're watching on TV, stay tuned for our following segments on information and culture. If you're watching us on the internet, I hope you will check out our other conversations with the passionate voices who make our community a more inclusive place.